everybody, and welcome to Gridiron Recap. I'm Kevin Walsh alongside 104.5, the team reporters, Jersey Joe Archino for the Giants and Ian Sachs for the Jets. Today we'll start with the Jets. Now, obviously, all the talk surrounding that team, the loss of Rex Ryan, bringing in Darrelle Revis, bringing in Brandon Marshall, the Geno Smith saga, and in the mix, Chris Ivory gets lost, but had a very, very impressive week one. What did you see from their running back?
Well, the Jets offense clicked on all cylinders, it seemed, and you saw Fitzpatrick connect with Marshall. You saw him connect with Decker. But you're right, Kevin. It was the running game that was the most impressive and important part of that offense. You said it, Chris Ivory scoring 2 touchdowns in the Jets' 31-10 victory over the Browns. And it's the running game that allowed them to control the tempo in the second half and hold the Browns scoreless while scoring 17 points.
Now, outside of the offense or the rushing attack or anything there, you were in-house, you were at the game. What was your biggest takeaway from that game for the Jets?
Well, I think the way that they clicked on offense, this team, everyone was talking about their defense, the return of Darrelle Revis, the return of Antonio Cromartie, but the Todd Bowles starting off. He's a defensive-minded coach, but their offense clicked. Everyone was worried about Geno Smith not being there. Ryan Fitzpatrick did a very good job, and even though he had 1 interception, it was all taken away by the incredible play by Brandon Marshall, stripping the Browns defender who made the interception, setting the Jets up inside the 10. They went on to score a touchdown. Todd Bowles, after the game, said that was the play of the game, the momentum changer.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge going in. Brandon plays, like I said, he plays everything. He plays offense, he plays defense, he plays aggressive. That play, to me, was the play of the game.
Now, over to you, Jersey Joe. When you looked at that game, obviously, we can't ignore the quarterback play. It's so important, that Geno Smith saga that went on. What did you see from Ryan Fitzpatrick?
I think it really all comes down to the ball distribution, like our wonderful reporter said. I mean, you look at how everybody kind of got their touches with the ball. You look at Marshall got a touchdown, Decker got a touchdown. I think that's something that really was missed last year is ball distribution. You want everybody to be involved in the offense, and I don't really think that you had that at all times last year. I think with Fitzpatrick, he gets it. He really understands that mentality, and it's going to help them out so big in the long haul.
Now, interestingly enough, we're talking about the Jets for making good offensive decisions, and now we're going to talk about the Giants who didn't make good offensive decisions. That clock management coming down the stretch in that game against the Cowboys, what people say cost them that game. What is your opinion on their clock management and how they handled that late game situation?
Look, I don't think it's fair to put all the blame on one person. I think you lose as a team, you win as a team. Coughlin put the blame on him. Eli put the blame on him. And I think they both deserve to have some blame. I mean, the decision was wrong. They should have ran the ball there. Coughlin was right. It should have been a run play. But then Eli, at the same time, he has to take that sack. So they're both at fault here. I think the problem is it takes away from so many positives in that game. If you're the Giants, like there's a lot of good things you could take away from that, but it's a loss that wounds the heart like no other, and it's going to be a hard one to really accept and walk away from.
Now, you mentioned the positives, and you would be foolish to act as if there were none. A lot of people think the Cowboys will be very good this year. For you, though, what was the biggest positive if you were a Giants fan to say, okay, this makes me feel much more comfortable about our season?
I think it's all going to be about the defense. I mean, this is a defense that has a lot of question marks. You have a combination of youth and veterans in that secondary, and there's a lot of question marks there. And I think for the most part, you look at a guy like Landon Collins, who's got a big role to fill, and you could look at the tackles that he made, some of the other things he did, and be very confident. I think Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie also had a very strong game. And up front, obviously, they got pressure, but getting to Romo is very difficult. That's one of the best offensive lines in football. I think at the end of the day, the collective effort, and obviously Steve Spagnuolo being back, his kind of mentality with that team, it worked there. I think there's a lot of good things you could have trust in with that defense from week one.
Now, Ian, we're talking about looking ahead here, and that's obviously what we have to do, especially when you lose week one. You always want to look ahead where the positives lie. How do you feel about this Giants team moving forward? Not obviously long-term, but in the short window of the next few games that they have. What are your thoughts on the Giants?
I think that you can feel pretty positive about them because next week they have the Falcons at home. Now, the Falcons are not as good a team as the Cowboys are supposed to be. So you think that they could pick up a win then. Then they have a short week and they go with the Redskins at home, and that's another weak team. So I think that this team, even though they lost week one, such a disappointing way to lose, but they have 2 easier games coming up. They could be 2-1 after 3 weeks, and I think if you're a Giants fan, you feel pretty good about that.
Well, those are some excellent points. I'm Kevin Walsh. Jersey Joe Archino, Ian Sachs. This has been Gridiron Recap. We'll see you guys next time.